Hey Bubblers, just a little update on something I've been working on. I don't do a lot of the build in public stuff. Most of what I do is tutorials, little tips and tricks. But I've been working on something that has been a lot of fun and is, I don't know, feels like it's pretty cool actually. So it's a no-code configurator for one of my plugins. And the plugin that I'm working on is the CSV Uploader. There has been a free version out for a year or so at this point, and it solves a major pain point with Bubble, and that's the ability, number one, to upload a CSV file on the front end and map the column headers on the CSV that was uploaded to the appropriate field in your database. And it also solves the issue with wanting to upload thousands of records, but being on one of Bubble's plans that only lets you upload 100 or 200 records at a time via CSV. So one of the issues though with the plugin has been that it creates a UI, right? You don't have to create the UI to interact with it. It creates everything: the header, the upload button, the mapping where it shows the column headers and the drop down with your potential fields that you can match with. But part of that issue is that it's a single design. There's no way to stylize that unless you actually go in and do some custom CSS on it, which you can always do. Some people have, but generally it's a plugin for a no-code platform. And I could add a bunch of fields to the property editor and do it that way. That's not a lot of fun. It gets confusing. It gets really overwhelming at times. So I built a no-code style editor for it, visualize all your changes on the element itself, and I'm pretty excited about it. So here we go. This is what it is. So there's a header and mapping and footer. So this maps directly to, so this top section is your header. The section where you're actually mapping fields from one value to another is your is the mapping, and then footer is this entire bottom section. And you can look at desktop, tablet, and mobile, see all those different sizes. And then you have all these options. So each of these you can just remove directly from. So I can take the footer and the header out and just keep the mapping functionality. I can remove the mapping as well, and it won't build anything. Or keep the footer and then stylize this so this just looks like a button. Right? And yeah, so we'll just kind of go through how all this works. So in the header, so we have main settings, right? And we have padding, which is a very normal look to the way this is adjusted. And we also have borders. So we can take, let's just say we want to only have a bottom border. So we'll just change the style on the top and the sides to none. And there we go. Now we only have a bottom border, but let's go ahead and make this, we'll say 6 pixels, and we'll change it to yellow. So now already you can see we're kind of stylizing this in a much different way than what it comes out of the box. Maybe we want to push that, push the text over to the left. We don't want to have that full 30 pixels of padding, so we can do that. Maybe bring that bottom border up a little bit, and so we'll say 10 pixels there, and then we can jump into the actual title settings and change the font that we're using. We can change the weight of the font. Let's say we want to take it to 600. We're going to change this to 23 pixels, and let's just bring this down so it's not quite such a dark color. Yeah, and then we can align this to the center. We can align it to the right, or we can align it to the left. So quite a bit of customization there. And then we'll jump into the mapping, and we have we'll have some additional settings here as well. But let's just go ahead and get rid of the side borders as well here, and let's just say we want to make it more like a table. So we're going to go ahead and go into the row settings and we'll change the padding, and let's just bring this down to 7 on the top, 7 on bottom, and it's just, you know, you're kind of bringing it into more of a more concise. You can see more rows at the same time, and the icon settings are not functional yet, but in text settings we can do the same thing then. So we can, you know, change the weight, we can change the font family. You know, we just type in the font that you want to use. We can just do, you know, sans serif, and it'll grab the first one. I like enter, so we'll go back to enter. Maybe we just want to make these this text a little bit bigger, so we'll say 17 pixels. And then drop down settings. You can change the width. It's at fit content right now, which probably is not optimal. So we'll just say max of 100 and minimum of, we'll say 200 pics. All right, so cool. And then we'll go ahead and jump into the footer yet as well, because now we kind of have this odd looking box down at the bottom. And I think the first thing probably we should do is change the borders on this as well. So let's get rid of, oops, I am on the button, ain't I? We want to keep the border on the button. Go into main settings. Here we go. So border, let's get rid of right, left, and bottom. And then let's say you may want to make this that same yellow color and give it just a little bit more width. And then margin, let's push that down just a little bit. Our button still looks kind of rough there, so let's go ahead and we can change the background. Actually, we'll go ahead and make the background the same yellow. Let's change the font color to white so that's more visible, and I think some padding would be helpful here, so we'll just do 15 there, 15 there. We'll make that a little bit bigger, and let's go into border and give this some radius as well. Just go with 6 pixels all the way around. All right, and then I think I'm just going to go ahead and remove the border. We don't actually need a border on the button. All right, cool. So that's obviously, it's, you know, looking quite a bit better. If we want to, we can change, you know, the width settings and alignments as well. So we can set it to the left, center, or right. We can just say 100% as a minimum. That'll give us a full length or full width button, and probably not what we're looking for. We'll make it the same width as the drop downs, and yeah, we'll leave it just like that. So once you have the element configured, right, you can see exactly what it's going to look like. All you have to do is just click copy code, and I need to have some kind of alert there that lets you know that it has been copied. And just look again. This is what the default configuration of this, you know, the styling looks like on the element. Here's what we want it to look like. So we've copied the code, and we're going to change this. So if we go back into the editor, we'll just click on that element again, go back down here to the style configuration, paste the code in there, and refresh. And just a side note, the element doesn't show until you have an actual file uploaded. So we'll go ahead and upload this one. Boom, there we go. So fully configured, and we set that to country or revenue. Hey guys, hopefully that was helpful, and you learned a little bit about what the plugin can do. There's a new version of the plugin coming out this week, and it's going to be a paid version. We've upgraded it quite a bit. By the way, this week is the week of October 25th, 2021. In case you're watching this later on down the road. So we've upgraded it quite a bit. We've had some limitations with the last one, which is free. It's still out there if you want access to it, but just with the batching limitations, if you're trying to get them down to 100 or 200 records, you're kind of limited to either 5,000 or 10,000 total rows in your CSV, because we can only create about 50 files. So the new version has a completely different setup as far as how those files are created. We're not actually creating them in the plugin. We're returning text, base64 text, and then we've added an action that allows you to create those files on the fly as you're uploading them. So our preliminary test, we've been able to upload about 200,000 rows. Haven't tried above that yet, but needless to say, it'll handle most of your upload needs as far as allowing your users to upload CSVs from the front end. So cheers. Hope you guys have a great week. Go out there, create some stuff, and let's do it.